Welcome to the Rise to Shine podcast with Noelle Kustas, where we ignite the spark to discover your favorite self. It is time to get real, ladies. Hello, and welcome back to the Rise to Shine podcast. I'm your host, Noelle Kustas, and I am really excited about this episode. Today's episode, it has just been sitting on my heart for a little while, and I want to say this before I even begin to dig in. I'm really coming into this conversation with a lot of care because I know that not everyone is starting from the same place. I know that circumstances are very real. I know that access is real. I know that life can feel heavy. It can feel layered. It can feel complex. And I never want anything I say on this podcast to feel like I am overlooking that. So just know this is coming from a place of compassion, from a place of love, not from a place of, I have it all figured out, but from a place of, I've been noticing something and I really just want to share that with you. So over the last several weeks, I have experienced, and you may even be noticing in the podcast episodes, I've experienced a level of clarity that I didn't have before. And I've been sitting with that and asking myself why. Was I not ready for it before? Did I need to let go of certain things to create space for it? Did I need to slow down enough to actually hear what was always there? And I know that we hear this all the time. Create space, slow down, clear your mind. But from my lived experience right now, it is true. It is. When our minds are full, and I'm talking about the to-do list, I'm talking about the worries, the pressure, that constant noise, I am going to say that from my experience, there is not room. There isn't room to think differently. There isn't room to receive new ideas or to even just allow that clarity to kind of land in our bodies, land in our hearts and our minds. And what I'm finding is that clarity doesn't usually come in the chaos. It comes in those really quiet moments. It comes in those in-between spaces. It comes when we allow ourselves to pause. And it doesn't have to be a long pause, you guys. It can be even just those brief pauses. For example, when I was on the cruise that I've talked about a lot lately, when I was on the cruise, I slept so well. I slept so well. And I think because I was getting better rest and I was able to calm the nervous system, I was able to calm my space, my head space, even though it was brief, there were things that were able to come to me and I was able to have more clarity because there wasn't all of this stuff going on. Okay. So here's the thing. I get that we're all busy women. I get that. I am a busy woman. And how many of us here, how do you do it all? How do you manage everything? And here's the truth. We do. We figure it out. We hold a ton. And yeah, we carry a lot. We carry a lot. But what I'm starting to understand is this. It's not just about how much we can do. It's about how we're holding it. Because not everything we carry needs to feel heavy. Not everything we do needs to come from pressure. Because There's a difference between holding and being full, being overwhelmed, between being productive and being energetically depleted. There's a difference. And I think a lot of women have been living in that second space for a long time, between being productive and being energetically depleted. And I also think that it's important to say this right now, we're not all built the same. I don't care how we try to all fit in the same box. We are not all built the same, nor should we be. I don't want to be. And we're all just wired differently. Whether you look at it through the lens of human design, if you're familiar with that, maybe Enneagram types, maybe personality tests, your faith, astrologically. I mean, there's so many different factors and there's so many lenses that we can look at. But the bottom line is that we are created differently. And because of that, there isn't any one size fits all way to have a meaningful life. And this brings me back to what has been in my heart. This deep belief that people are here for a reason, that your life matters, that there is meaning available to you. There is meaning available to you. And especially for women, I know I'm just talking to women because you're my audience, but I have been feeling this so deeply lately. I don't know. I see so many women and I hear so many women that are suffering in silence. They don't share. They don't open up. They feel like they're the only one, or they just feel that it's easier to keep it all in, to isolate themselves, to just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, and therefore I don't have to talk about it and I don't have to deal with it. And here's the thing, I know this because not only do I talk to these women, but I know this because I've been there. I have carried things quietly. I've told myself, I'll figure it out. And even in the work that I do with women, I have avoided being vulnerable because it felt easier than being seen by somebody else. So when I say this is on my heart, I mean it. And I know this sounds cliche. I mean it with all of my heart and soul. I do. And I think this is where things can get misunderstood because when we hear a meaningful life, we often attach it to success. We attach it to money. We attach it to, I don't know, freedom. We attach it to like a certain lifestyle. But that is not what I'm talking about. A meaningful life doesn't have to look a certain way. It's not about having everything together. It's not about reaching some final destination. A meaningful life for me in my world right now, and again, I feel like everything is always changing and evolving, but a meaningful life is feeling connected to who you are, feeling present in your life, knowing that your existence, no matter the big or small moments, it all matters. It's where you get to feel that you are grounded, that you are alive, that you are aligned. You're aligned to what it is that matches you, that feels like this is me. And again, sometimes it's in that quiet, sometimes it's in the growth, sometimes it's in the healing, but it's there. It's there. And I want to say this really clearly. I understand that not everyone has the same level of access. Not everyone has the same level of opportunity or support. Some people are navigating things others may never fully understand. And this conversation is not about ignoring that. What it's about expanding what might still be possible within it even if it looks different, even if it is small and not massive, right? I mean, it could be massive for you. So instead of saying you can have anything you want, okay? Because I know, as coaches, as mentors, as just humans, we're out there and we're saying that you can have anything you want. As a teacher, I remember saying that. I want to offer something a little bit more grounded. There is more available to you than you may have been shown. There may be more peace for you. There may be more clarity for you, more connection. Maybe there's more healing. Maybe there's more possibility. And again, it doesn't have to be all at once. It doesn't have to be this like forced thing, but I'm talking about in a real unfolding way. And something that I feel like has become really clear to me through all of this is that I am also evolving. Yeah, I love coaching. You guys know that. I love mentoring women. That will always be a part of what I do. I just know that that is my calling. But what I feel even more called for and more into right now is something even deeper. It's something even deeper. I am feeling called to lead communities, to curate rooms, to bring women together, and to truly see people. And it's funny because my mentor has this gift, but we talk about it a lot. And I feel like when I'm talking about creating community and curating rooms to really see women, that's something that was definitely confirmed for me through many conversations, not just with my mentor, but with women that I have worked with. But basically, what my mentor has shared is it's about helping other women see what I see in them. I want to hold them and I want to encourage them. I want to be their biggest cheerleaders. I want to be their biggest fans as I help them to stay accountable. I want to hold that space for them. And I also want to connect. And I mostly want to create environments where women do not feel alone. This is what has just been standing out to me in such a big way. And that's why even you'll notice, for those of you that follow me on Instagram, in my social media, even when I'm talking, that my bio has shifted. Because again, yes, I'm a mentor, but more than that, I am a curator. I'm a curator for community. I am a curator for lifestyles. I curate rhythms for women because the word curator, first of all, I just love it. It just like feels so natural for me to say because to curate means to intentionally bring things together with care, with thought, and with purpose. And that's what I want to do for women. Not hand them a one size fits all plan, but to help them curate a life they love, a life that really genuinely feels like their favorite, a life that feels uniquely theirs, not fitting into a box, not being like this other person, but truly to feel like their favorite selves, that they are unique, their rhythms, their own tools. I can give you, right? I can give you a toolbox. I used to, you know what's so cool is I think about this and I go, Oh my gosh, I used to use this analogy so much with my students in my classroom. I would always tell them, listen, I'm going to give you all the tools. I've got all these tools in the toolbox that you can choose, but you have to choose the tools that are right for you, that are meant for you. So it's kind of cool because I'm like, wow, I've actually been doing this work for a really long time. I have been using the same philosophy. I'm just using it in a more elevated way now. Before I would talk about writing tools, right? I was keeping it super basic. But now it's about the tools that we use. It's about creating and curating those rhythms, those environments, because this isn't about copying someone else's life. It's about building your own life and having so much intention around that. Doing it with intention. So instead of all this pressure, oh my gosh, you need to, go live out your purpose. You can have anything you want. You need to do this. You need to do that. I want to offer you something a little different. I want to offer you curiosity. What if you don't have to figure everything out right now? What if the next step isn't changing your entire life, but simply asking, what might be available to me that I haven't seen yet? What might be available to me that I haven't seen yet? That's what I want to offer you. So, wherever you are right now, whatever your life looks like, whatever season you're in, it doesn't matter because we're always in different seasons. There is still something meaningful available to you. And maybe part of that meaning comes from not doing it alone, but from being seen and from being supported, from being in the right rooms with the right people. I am still figuring it all out. I'm still walking. I'm still walking this, right? I'm still learning it myself. I'm still trying to create space for what is next. But it is literally 10:45 at night. And I felt so called to share this with you because I just know that there are women listening right now who needed to hear this. I have been in agreement with God that I was going to share what was on my heart. I was going to share my truth. I was going to open up my throat and actually start to speak and not feel afraid, but feel encouraged that if God has placed a thought on my heart, that it needs to be shared. And it might not be perfectly refined, but that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is and has always been about sharing stories, about empowering women, about inspiring women. So if that is you, if you are someone that's listening right now and you needed to hear this, you are not alone. You're not alone. And I don't want to get all sappy in this, but I want you to know that you're not alone and that there are tools, there are rhythms, there are communities, and I'm going to continue to create them and curate these spaces because that is what I'm being led to do. And that feels so good and so aligned for me. And I just needed to come on here and share that because it has been a wild ride in the last few weeks. And I was filming a podcast today and I shared this and I said, it's interesting because for the last few years, I've been chipping away and I've been doing the work on myself, right? But because I had just been slowly chipping away at different things and just kind of like plugging in my own rhythms, plugging in the tools, getting, I guess, just kind of being open-minded, seeking out mentoring myself and coaching and therapy and all of the things. What happened is that several weeks ago, I was able to have this massive shift and be able to see things more clearly because I think I had been chipping away and I was able to create that space. And here's the big part. Even myself, who's been sharing on this podcast for 2 years, who has been, creating community, I have been mentoring, I've been doing all of those things. Some things came up for me that were still holding me down, still had me kind of stuck. And I didn't even realize it. But it wasn't until I had the capacity to be able to hold the space was I able to even recognize that and welcome the conversation and to then be able to just like literally level up, as my mentor always says. And it's just really been fascinating to reflect on it and to sit in this place and just be, not question it, just operate in it. And I realized like there were things I was preaching, I guess, in a way, like I was saying it, but I don't want to even say it that way. I don't want to say like, oh, I wasn't following what I was preaching. No, I was, to the ability that I was able to, what I knew to be true. And that's why I love life, because we're constantly evolving, we're constantly spiraling up. And when we do that, we have those aha moments. I certainly do not know everything I'm supposed to know or that I'm going to know in my lifetime. So I just guess for me, I just want you to feel so seen. And I want you to feel almost a sense of feeling like you're being held here in a very gentle and soft way. And that I just want to have compassion for that. And I'm excited. I'm excited for people to understand their worth and that their life has meaning. Like really like in-depth meaning. And I can't wait for you or them to feel that and to experience that. So that's the seed I wanted to plant today. That is what I just needed to share. It was on my heart. I'm excited to now identify I feel like this is like a new identity. It's the same me, but I'm just stepping into being a community curator, a lifestyle curator. And I cannot wait to see what this season's going to be about. And I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being willing to just think with me, to feel with me, to grow with me. Thanks for trusting me in that. I have had so much fun getting messages from you guys. The podcast is just continuing to grow. Thank you for sharing it. And I can't wait to see what we have in store. So again, keep rising, keep shining, and know your best day is right here waiting for you. See you next week, guys.
Thanks for joining me here today. Your presence means the world to me. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider leaving a rating and review, and don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Head to the show notes and let's connect. Rise to Shine Co. is ready to support you in coaching, collaboration, life tips, or even a coffee chat. Until next time, keep shining, my friends.